SPY closed at a fresh all-time high, reinforcing the breakout tone. Welcome to your daily market briefing for 2026-05-13. We will walk through leadership, macro context, and what matters next for the next session. Here is the broad market snapshot. S&P 500 was up 0.58% and closed at $7,444.25. Nasdaq 100 was up 1.04% and closed at $29,366.94. Dow Jones was down 0.14% and closed at $49,693.20. Next, the ETF curve set shows where relative strength and weakness developed through the session. Leaders were technology plus 0.96%, communication services plus 0.79%. Laggards were utilities minus 1.19%, financials minus 1.11%. Across global markets, the session leaned constructive globally, with most major regions holding up. Australia was one of the weakest pockets in the map, while Shanghai in Asia held up better than the rest. Stepping back, SPY closed at a fresh all-time high. Broad risk tone was firm, with SPX at plus 0.58% and NDX at plus 1.04%. Relative strength stayed with XLK and XLC, while XLU and XLF lagged the board. The stock market fear and greed index is 66, which sits in greed. That is down 1 point from the prior reading. That suggests investors are leaning risk on and may keep rewarding upside momentum. On the S&P 500 heat map, leaders were semiconductors, plus 2.38%, communication services, plus 0.79%. Laggards were utilities, minus 1.19%, financials, minus 1.11%. Policy expectations remain a major driver, and upcoming macro releases is one of the next data points traders will use to calibrate the Fed path. If that data surprises hot, long-duration trades could stay under pressure. Commodity action was split. Natural gas led while Brent lagged, so the move looked selective rather than broad-based. The index board leaned higher, with Dow carrying the weakest tone and Nasdaq holding up best. Mega cap curves were mostly positive, which points to a broad tone move more than a single name story. Forex showed a risk-off currency tone, with the sharpest move in GBP USD and the best relative strength in USD JPY. Crypto remained under pressure, which helps confirm the broader market risk tone. Bond curves suggest yields were mostly rising, so rates still mattered for the session. The main focus stayed on SPY closed at a fresh all-time high near 742.37. Leadership stayed concentrated in semiconductors and communication services. The next question is whether the breakout above the prior record can hold after the first close at new highs. For tomorrow, watch the next macro events, the direction of treasury yields, and whether leadership stays with semiconductors and energy or rotates elsewhere. Also, watch follow-through on U.S. stock market today. S&P 500 futures rise on fresh inflation and Fed jitters, because headline risk can quickly reshape sentiment. That is the key takeaway for today's market. SPY closed at a fresh all-time high. Broad risk tone was firm, with SPX at plus 0.58% and NDX at plus 1.04%. Relative strength stayed with XLK, XLC, while XLU, XLF lagged the board. Keep watching policy signals, index leadership, and the next macro catalysts. Subscribe for the next daily market briefing.